This is part two of whatever the hell the title is going to be. So, I had to end the video early because I was afraid that somebody would abruptly get in the way and script the video. So, we're going to talk about indigenous erasure now. And, God damn it. I'm also going to eat a cupcake. Indigenous erasure. And we're going to talk about what happened in the TikTok. You know, because it was quite fully disturbing. Except for BGP gave the girl the verbal beatdown that she needed. Alright? And I can be a little bit more freer here. Damn. I can be a little bit more freer here on TikTok. God damn it. On YouTube than I can on Instagram. Sometimes I got my social medias mixed up, y'all. So y'all have to forgive me. Yes, I like to eat this part last. And yellow is my favorite color. So, the young lady, I'll leave names off. And just for legal reasons. But I don't do internet beef. And if somebody shows up at my front door, I'm gonna unalive the fuck out they shit. Which is why I tell people I send warnings, not invitations. Take it for what it is. So, BGP put this young black girl in her place. Found out that the girl's only doing this shit for clout and causing problems amongst the native communities. And she's claiming to be native, but she's darker than me, which isn't impossible. It's not impossible. However, how she's going about doing it is wrong. How she's going about doing it is really quite simple. She is saying that black people were the original people of America, and the Native Americans was not. Which I made a video about this a few years ago, and I own it, because now they debunked the Native Americans coming out of Asia thing. They debunked the land bridge, which means maybe some natives came out of Asia, and maybe some didn't. So my theory of the Great Splinter amongst tribes, completely wrong. So I own that shit. But that way, if anybody comes after me and says, well, we got your videos of you saying Native Americans came across the land bridge from Asia. Yes, you do. And now you have this video telling you that I was wrong. And that I own it. Because if you're not up to speed, they just debunked the freaking land bridge theory, making me wrong. Unlike most people, I can admit when I'm wrong. I can own the fact that I'm wrong. I don't have to be mad or be a douchebag full of dick tip dumpster fire about shit. I'm not a know-it-all. I know enough to get by. I know enough to survive. Alka-Seltzer should give me a job, and so should Gatorade, because I'm about to mix these two things together. Excuse me. Anyway, moving on. The young lady could very well have native ancestry. However, she also has black ancestry, just like me. And like I said, I don't throw away my black heritage. I do have to put it on the back burner as an actor so that I can have a career. But I do not count myself as black. However, you know, a lot of shit going on, and there's a lot of indigenous erasure happening on TikTok. And BGP put the black girl on notice. And the black girl couldn't really win the argument. So she started calling BGP all kinds of bitches and whores and all kinds of shit. Now, as for the young black girl, I know your name. I'm not going to put you on blast because I'm going to let other black people handle that because there are other black people finally waking up and doing something about this shit. There have also been other black people um, waking up and doing shit about this shit. And, you know, BGP literally BGP. Oh, fuck. I thought I cut this damn thing off. Well, there's the new tablet for you. Yeah. We're gonna have to get my brother-in-law to fix that. Okay, how do you turn this bitch all the way off? Well, at least it wasn't the cell phone. Yeah, my new tablet, everyone. Making its grand debut. Okay, so we got that out of the way. I apologize profusely for that. Okay, so I had to answer a text. Technically, it was a Facebook thing. So BGP put the young black lady in her place, and it was awesome. I watched the entire argument, or at least I came in somewhere between the beginning and the middle, and she laid this black girl down and gave her the smackdown, the verbal smackdown. And BGP, if you're watching, you're fucking awesome. Anyway, the black girl was just like, I'm not African, but yet you're darker than me. And yeah, skin tone doesn't make you African, but for the most part, they have not debunked the fact that life started in Africa and that most people have some African descent in them as they migrate and they mutate to change into the phenotypes that we are from our locations and shit. They also debunked the Native Americans being found in China. So the only way that was possible is the Native American like really either got lost at sea or was captive or some shit like that. But anyway, irrelevant to this video. BGP put this girl through the ringer. And then the girl started flashing all her money on YouTube, on TikTok, and started flinging it all around and just doing everything she can because she can't win the argument. And she's literally calling BGP all kinds of bitches and whores and sluts and you ain't native, you a Siberian this, and you Siberian that, and all this other shit. And I'm sitting there to myself thinking, this is why black people can't get nowhere in life. The hatred of ourselves and the hatred of others is fucking unacceptable. And in case you guys aren't up to speed, I did do a black self-hatred video here not too long ago, and you should probably go find it. Damn it, wrong group. Sorry, y'all. any fracking how. So, god damn it, that's the wrong button. That's what I need. Anyway, while I wait for that, the whole thing is, that people, especially people of color, we have hated ourselves so badly that she wanted to just rob everyone else of their heritage, and specifically Native Americans. So, we won't have that shit, and I won't have that shit. And BGP put her in her place. Like, literally put her in her place. And I said to myself, if everybody would just learn how to accept themselves for who they are, half our problems wouldn't be a problem. But we can't do that. And that's part of the problem. If we could just learn how to do that, then we would be fine. Sorry, y'all. Okay. Now, the indigenous erasure is coming from a small group of black people. There is another man that I follow. Again, I will leave his name off. King S. They have been known as the Dagger Squad. And they are also after some of the black people who are claiming to be black indigenous or Afro-indigenous, but they are not indigenous. They just think that all life started in America, and they've been pushing this shit in. And they were on for like almost 15 hours, like this weekend, and they're gonna do some more next weekend. So if you happen to come across some indigenous erasure shit, there was another guy. What the hell was it? Port City something. I don't know the rest, so I can only give you Port City. And they was doing their job. They were debunking everything that these people who were saying that America was Africa and that the Nile River was the Mississippi and that there's a Stargate in the Grand Canyon. And I'm still laughing about that because I am a Stargate fan. And every time that someone had brought that up, I would hear the song "The Stargate Infinity," which I'm the only person on Earth who's seen this cartoon, and my cousin's a bigger Stargate fan than I am, and he never knew the cartoon existed. So shout out to our dog. And the song is like this. I'm gonna make your ears bleed now, so brace yourself, cause here comes Echo. Built by ancients so long ago, the Stargate lay till we broke the code. Now it takes us through the universe on a mission to get back to Earth. We are hunted and on the run, and together we overcome, fighting evil across the galaxy. Stargate Infinity. Let's see if we can actually find that shit. The Stargate Infinity theme song. Brace yourselves. If it plays. There it is. Now the show never really got but one season, but it was an awesome TV show. And I know you guys probably have no idea that that show existed, and it has nothing to do with this video outside the fact that I sung the theme song, but also this Black Indigenous stuff. They just kept saying things like, "There's a teleporter in the Grand Canyon that can take you from the Grand Canyon to Egypt," and I was like, "So they're saying they found the Stargate?" And everybody that I'm associated with in that group started calling it the Stargate in the Grand Canyon. So they mentioned it, and they brought something up, and I happened to be in the TikTok live, and so I told King S, I said, "You mean they finally found the Stargate?" And he got to laughing all live TikTok. He says, "No, bro, they have not found the Stargate." But yeah, and BPG and King S have told the young black lady, the same young black lady who put BJP through the mental gymnastics, but BJP never lost her cool. In fact, she was so calm, cool, and collected that this young black lady flipped her shit and started calling BJP all kinds of bitches and whores and shit, as I said in video one. And King S and BJP done already put this woman through the ringer before because of something about residential schools. And I will never forgive this woman for what she said, and I don't really care. Well, let me put it this way. If I have to go to heaven, then I will forgive this dumb broad for what she said. But what she said was, she has a video where she's on TikTok talking about how Native American children did not go to residential schools. They went to Native training camp teaching Native Americans how to be black people, the original Native Americans. And then this shit's all over the fucking internet, where there's a dude who was on Joe Rogan who said that it wouldn't make economic sense to go all the way to Africa to bring slaves back. And Joe Rogan agreed with him. I have nothing against Joe Rogan. Shout out to Joe Rogan. However, that dude is dumb as a box of fucking rocks. I don't know the dude's name. That's why I call him the dude. So let me make sure that you are all abundantly clear. All right? And we may have to use some Google real quick so I can end this video. Google, how many Africans in total are in Africa? Damn, the bitch ain't gonna talk. So 1, 430, 625, 142, as of Sunday, April 23rd. How many African Americans are in America?
41.6 million, 2020.
Okay. Now, why could it do that, but it couldn't do that for Africans in, Africa? What is the black population in America? 40.1 million, which is kind of what it just said. What is the African American population in Africa? African Americans in Africa, there's 3,000 in South Africa. Okay, so I might have asked that question wrong, so that's on me. How many African people are in Africa?
In 2016, the population of Africa was 1,216,130,000.
Okay. What is the current number of African people in Africa? And it gave me that same number. Current population of Africa in 2023 is 1, 406, 481, 772, at 2.37% increase since 2022. That really ain't answering my question. I think the number actually grew. And then down here it's the same thing, only the numbers on the back end is 142 versus the 772. This is why I don't fuck with Google. Alright? Unless Google's gonna give me a job, it helps me when it fucking wants to help me. It doesn't help me when it needs to help me, like right now. Anyway, This is why the math is wrong. Alright. Africa, hold on. Just counting America. Just counting the United States itself, is Africa bigger than the United States? What's the real size of Africa and how does Western states? Yeah, you could have just answered the question. How much bigger is Africa than the United States? Total area Africa 3.4 million square miles. Total state, including Alaska, is 9.6 million square miles. Alright. Africa is more than 3 times the size of the United States. Now, I'm only using the United States. I'm not using South America and Canada. So that just kind of proves the point that Africa is bigger than America. Why didn't I ask it that way? I'm a dumbass. Is Africa bigger than America? And it still didn't talk. But it does say Africa is bigger than America. Now, if you add South America and North America, then that together is bigger than Africa. Alright? But we're just doing America. Because the transatlantic slave trade, if there was any slaves in Canada, it's rarely ever mentioned. However, for North America and South America, we know the slaves were there. Alright? Except for these people on YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram that's doing indigenous erasure, which also means they're doing African erasure because they're taking the history of African slaves and just spitting on it. And there's nothing wrong with being the descendant of a slave. I know that I have to be a descendant of a slave. I also know that I am part white and I am part native and I am part black. Somebody in there was a slave. I'm pretty sure somebody in there was a slave. I'm not ashamed of that shit. It just proves I come from strong stock for them to survive so long for my ass to get here. You know? Now, do I know if I'm more or less those? No, I don't. Do I give a damn? No, I don't. I'm here. I have nothing to do with slavery. And yeah, a lot of people look at me and say I would probably have been the houseboy. Probably. Probably not. You never know. Maybe I'd been the houseboy, did the house master be my daddy and just did not like the look of my face. You never freaking know. Anyway, it doesn't really matter because that shit's over. What does matter is that this young black lady refused to acknowledge her African history. And it killed her to even get it off her mouth. So I want to end the video with this, back to the Joe Rogan thing, and the young black dude that said it wasn't economically sound. Well, King S and them Saturday or Friday night, I think it was Saturday night, they literally found all the slave ships. They found all the records of the slave ships. They did all their research. And they're doing research as we speak right now. And this young lady and this young man could care two shits. But this young man said that it wasn't economically sound to take a boat to Africa and come back to America full of slaves. Now, to that dude, first, do your fucking math. Africa is way bigger than America, and I'm talking just the United States. You would have had to take the bulk of the population to go in reverse, which means you would have to take from California to Louisiana. Literally, you'd have to take from California to Louisiana. You'd have to go all the way, and I'm including Washington State and Oregon and Montana and all the other states, because you cut right down the middle and you'll find the Louisiana. So you'd have to take that whole bulk of the Western Hemisphere of black people and put them on a ship for them to be able to populate Africa to the point of where Africa outnumbers everybody in the United States. But of course, some people are so ashamed to be black that they don't want to acknowledge that shit because the math is not right. And I suck at math, but I'm not a complete idiot. And I know for a fucking fact, since a lot of the slaves didn't survive the journey here to begin with, you know, they took less than the bulk from Africa to America. And it would make more sense because the slave trade and the slaves only lasted so far. Once they start like traveling across the West, the slave trade and slavery was done, and everybody started moving out, going westward, and all that other shit. So, yeah, don't be ashamed of your heritage, and long live Native Americans, and long live mixed people like me. That being said, I'm Echo Fangray with this is Coffee number 2. Be seeing ya.